It is bitingly cold tonight in terms of the weather, probably in terms of the atmosphere as well. There are plenty of comedic things to get through, so maybe we should do that first, such as Dave Spud Thornhill, our very own columnist at PinkUn.com, getting involved in becoming the fourth official after one of the linesmen pulled, I think his groin, looked really painful, and Spud took charge. We had a 10-minute delay, 10 minutes going on 15 of injury time at the end of the game. At one point the teams were called over to the benches and we wondered if we were going to actually have an abandoned game unless someone came forward to step in as an official, which Spud of course did. He did an excellent job holding up the substitutes board, so that was very good. And we had that, we had long delays, we had all sorts of stuff. There's Mr. Maddison, who by the way scored a fantastic free kick. I'm not just saying that because he's in earshot, to give Norwich a lead in the first half. The second home game on the trot, they've managed that. Right, well, that's all the good stuff and the funny stuff, because the rest of it was rather sobering, to be honest, because after Norwich did take the lead, Preston really had numerous chances to score. They looked far more lively. Norwich really struggled for cohesion. You could just tell in terms of the confidence, the issues that they've got going forward, and it's becoming a bit of a difficult situation in terms of the weight of those problems. Game of course finishing 1-1. Barkhuizen, who looked a good threat actually for most of the game, managing to snaffle, I think that's a good word, the equaliser. Generally they were good on the counter, generally they had better moments going forward, and ultimately the second home game on the trot, the Norwich have failed to hold on to a lead and ultimately done pretty well to somehow scrape a point. That against Barnsley and against Preston, of course. They lost at Forest in midweek, and I can tell you that from here on in they go to Cardiff on Friday, and then they've got 2 games against Leeds and Sheffield United away at Leeds, here against Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, they are 3 really tough fixtures. Now, it may be that the tough fixtures actually suit Norwich better, but the problem is the way they're playing. It's hard to. They lack confidence. Josh Murphy had a great chance in the first half where he was right. The goalkeeper had gone. He had an open goal to aim at and just took a touch rather than stroking it in. And if things are going well, you stroke the ball in and everything's great, and you score and. Life is good, but Norwich aren't in that situation, and it's actually really damaging them at the moment. And to be quite frank, I've spoken just to Alex Pritchard, which was nice, and he quite rightly says we're losing, the leading pack are getting away, and it's a really fair point. But ultimately I'm not looking at the leading pack at the moment. I'm looking at how Norwich are struggling to pick up points against fairly mediocre sides in the Championship and thinking it's not going to be long before you're in, not mid-table, but middle of the bottom half. And then all you do is look over your shoulder, and all you do is worry about who's going to catch you up, and you long forget about what's going on at the top end of the table. Norwich look a million miles off competing for a top 10 finish at the moment. To be frank, the same issues are coming up, the same problems with their play, and it's a rut, and it's a longer rut than their good run in September, and it's a longer rut than things were deteriorating in August. So it needs some action, it needs some strong words and some honest words, and there's nothing to say that Norwich can't turn it around, but they do need to be fairly frank about where they are at the moment, and they've really got to start digging in, because things in the Championship can catch up with you very quickly without you realising it. I did mention Alex Pritchard. He got about 12, 15, 20 minutes, I can't really remember when he came on, to be honest, but he got a good cameo at the end. He did pretty well. He's going to play for the under-23s tomorrow. So it'd be good to have him back, of course. Makes a big difference, and it gives Daniel Farke a decision to make in terms of how that looks. And Norwich desperately needs some more defensive midfield cover, because there's just not enough of it at the moment, and they're not good enough with the ball to protect themselves by keeping possession. So it's a major issue. Final point, Alec Neil back at Carrow Road. He was beaming and buzzing around afterwards, because I think he was really happy with the way his side played, and so he should be. Preston did really well. No great shakes, but they played well on the day, and he can be happy with that, because his side probably should have left with all 3 points. It's the second mid-table side to be able to say that in the space of a week here at Carrow Road. I'm really sorry. A, that's not good enough, and A, that is a genuine worry going forward, especially with those 3 games coming up.